Hello, good afternoon. I will try to give a bit of energy this beginning of the afternoon after lunch. So my name is Raul Pantaleo. Okay, we start with a technical problem. Okay, I'm a founder and associate of TAMASSOCIATI. TAMASSOCIATI is a cooperative group that is based in Venice that has been developing in the last 15 years mainly work in impact design, so it means socially oriented projects, mainly in critical areas. So the project I will share with you today is a small part of our work, but it has been a very, very relevant part of our work in terms of theory. So what I would like to start with is the idea that we strongly believe that our role the role of the architect has to have an improvement, trying to gather and to shift the threshold of our work also in areas where normally architecture is unknown. And I'm talking of the critical area that are war area or area affected by poverty. And we have been working with this Italian NGO for 10 years in very critical areas with the same principle, the idea that even within poverty, within a war area, the principle of designing has to be that what we design is good for them if it's good for us. So just a few words about the organization, our client. Actually, I'm a member also of the organization. Emergency is the biggest Italian NGO that's working mainly war-torn area, that's providing free of charge and quality, high quality standard surgery in critical areas. So it's a very peculiar NGO. So you see the map. This has been mainly the work I've been working. Mainly the place where I have been working, that means Sudan, Darfur, Afghanistan, Iraq, Sierra Leone, Central African Republic, and I mean all the region that has been affected by the big movement. Oh, you. Anyway, this has been a very, very special experience of shifting my experience as an architect to the extreme condition and understanding what is the role of an architect within this extreme condition. So I would like to start with a quote of the founder of the NGO that's saying, creating a hospital is something more than constructing a functional building. It's designing a place suited for human reconstruction. And what I would like to talk with you today is the idea of human reconstruction is just not giving a space, giving a building, giving a hospital, but it's something more that deal very deeply with our way of doing and designing buildings. So war-torn areas, I just passed through a couple of projects of Sudan, because Sudan, the prayer meditation pavilion is part of this process, working in war-torn area. So the idea of designing buildings that has quality, even in extreme condition, it's a very strong mandate that the organization gave us, because giving quality, designing quality space is the first thing the first step of the reconstruction of the human that are suffering. Here you see just two different slides. One is the normal ward in a hospital in Darfur, and then this very simple ward for the pediatric clinic that we designed in Darfur. But I don't want to talk about this. This is just showing how we approach this idea of sharing quality design, having quality space, designing gardens, and having place that is hosting the people that are suffering. This is another project in Port Sudan that is placed in the biggest refugee area that has been gathering almost 200,000 people of the different war that affected Sudan. And here the idea has been to use the garden as a healing process. So the idea that a garden and designing of a good space where people could stay, could gather, where children could play, was the first approach of a healing process. So this, you see, they are very simple buildings, very basic, but they have a quality where this is basically are the only place where people are feeling safe, where people are feeling to be considered as equal. And I experiment this approach recently working in the refugee camp in Iraq, using the same module, using the same budget, using the same strategy. It's possible to design something that's human, that is dealing with the capacity of giving a message to the people that there is a future. So this is just to give a first frame of what I'm going to share with you today. It's a prepared meditation pavilion that has been realized within a bigger project that we did of a big hospital of cardiac surgery that we designed for the same organization. This is a very special project for the NGO. So as usual in any hospital, there was a request of designing a place that was hosting the spiritual need of the people. But Sudan, especially at that time where we were working on this different project, was strongly and deeply affected by this problem of the war caused by the religion. There was the time of separation between North and South of Sudan, and there was a time of conflict in Darfur. And as usual, religion has been used as an excuse to generate tension between the people that for ages has been living together. So this idea of designing a prayer meditation pavilion, actually it was meant to be a prayer pavilion, has been an extraordinary challenge to show how architecture can be stressed to be something more than a building, but something like a sort of manifesto of a possibility of people of having a different approach, especially when you talk of conflict related to religion. So this is the context where we were working. So we proposed the idea that we're not going to design a place for the majority of that are in that area, that mean the Muslim, but to stress the idea that this could be a place where all different religions that were present in Sudan and present also in the conflict between Sudan and other countries, but also because the fact there is in the hospital are coming also patients from different countries. So the idea that it was possible to design a building that could host this different spirituality. Of course, this has to deal a lot with the also technical issue, because of course different religions have different approach, and also there was a big question about if it would have been accept a building like that. So there has been a sort of opening up, trying to talk with the local imam, with the church, with the people that were at that area, and we got the approval to try to design something that could have this challenge. So I think that when I say this is a manifesto building, for me this has been the most extraordinary and extreme condition, even if I've been working in very extreme condition, because it has been somehow a way to prove how far can reach architecture. So as you can see, the building is a very small pavilion. It's a very small, pavilion, yes, because it's just a pavilion. It's 32 square meter. And we based this pavilion on the idea that it's floating on the water. So the water is the element that actually is separating the pavilion from the rest of the world. So the idea that the pavilion is something separate by the reality of of the daily reality. But actually the water is just a very strong element in all the religion, but also it's a very practical issue because this was the water that we collected for irrigation. So the building actually is sitting on the water that we will use for irrigate the garden. So you see again, there is this circulation of idea of creating healing gardens. So as the building is a very, very, very simple building, and here the minimalism is not a style. The minimalism is the idea to reduce all the sign that can be interpreted as religious sign to the minimum. And so how could we do this? So we try to minimize all the element that could somehow stress the people that were going to pray or to just meditate in this area. And we did it with a very, very simple element. We put a tree inside the room. Of course, the tree was not very well accepted somehow by the religious that we called to discuss about the project, but we thought that the trees could be displaced the building somewhere else. So this idea that nature is something that is common to the human being, to the spirituality of people. And you see the building is just two hands that are staying like that. It's a very one line, and of course we have to face the problem, the issue of in the Muslim religion, there is a separation between male and female, and we put this door that actually is a sort of connection between the two spaces that actually is creating continuity inside the space. And this is just the entrance where you face the tree. And finally, we want to give to this space a quality that has to deal with spirituality, and the element that linked all the different religions in terms of spirituality is the concept of light. Light is something that is coming and is enlightening the life, is enlightening the spirit of the people, and for the religion, I'm talking of a non-religion man, it's the light of God. So we use this very, very simple roofing that is giving, this is the only element that's giving a texture, that is giving a sort of, how can I say, decoration. You know, the religion has a lot to deal with decoration, so we use the light to decorate this space. And we minimize also the practical element that deals with the practice of a religion. So this is we minimize the water for washing the hand and the feet in the Muslim. So it's something that is very, very, very minimal. And I think the bigger picture, is somehow showing the spirit of this project. That this idea that it is possible for a building to express a concept, a political statement, a metaphysical statement through the design, and is in the same time it's a physical place, but it's also a spiritual place, but it's a very strong political place. I mean, for me, this has been the most significant element, because I strongly believe that, first of all, before being architect, we are citizens. So our role within the society is to bring a growth, a better life. So within this small story I told you today, I try to introduce the idea that the architect are needed, especially where is the big need, in the extreme condition, in the poverty, in the war, because we are able to make the difference, because we are able through design to create a place, like in this case, where people, where different religion with this different spirituality can gather together. It's like a tree in front of a pediatric clinic in the middle of the desert is a sign that there is a capacity of having and imagining a future. Thank you very much.